Welcome back. We have a word problem here that involves sets, and it reads, in a school of 250 students, the results of the examination showed that only 40% of the students passed all the three subjects, English, mathematics, and science. Failures were assessed in these three subjects and the results are as follows. 14 students failed only English, 42 students failed English and science, 12 students failed English, mathematics and science, 28 students failed in English and mathematics, 24 students failed in science and mathematics only. The number of students who failed only science is twice the number of students who failed only mathematics. Question 1. Draw a Venn diagram to illustrate this information. Question 2. How many students A. failed mathematics, B. failed only one subject, and C. failed only science? Question 3. If a student is chosen at random from the students who have failed, what is the probability that he or she failed only English and science? We have too much of information here, but the first thing we'll try to do is to go and draw our Venn diagram, and then we will work on the problem. So let's say solution. For the first question, we are instructed to draw the Venn diagram. So for a three-set problem, this is our Venn diagram. We are dealing with three subjects: English, mathematics, and science. Okay? So let's try to fill in the information. It says in a school of 250 students, the results of the examination showed that only 40% of the students passed all the three subjects. Well, this set problem is quite different from the previous set problems that we have encountered, for the fact that we are dealing with students who have passed and students who have failed. We are given 250 students, but out of these 250 students, only 40% passed the examination. So which means the rest have failed the examination. And if you read the question, you realize that you are only dealing with students who have failed. So which means those that have passed the exams are not important for us. We are dealing with failures here. So that is why the first thing that I need to know is the number of students who have actually failed this examination. So the total number of students in the school is 250 students. So it says 40% of the students passed. So if we have 40% passed the exams, so we can be able to tell how many students have passed the exams, right? So that will be 40 over 100 times the total number of students is 250. And if you do the math, it will be 100 students. So it means in a school of 250 students, only 100 students have passed the exams. And like I told you, because we are only dealing with failures in the question, I need to know the number of students who have failed. So if you have a school of 250 students, but only 100 students have passed, this tells you that 150 students have failed the exam. So how do we find that? The number of students who failed the examination can be calculated as 250 minus 100, and that will give you 150 students. Okay, but you can calculate this alternatively. Since it says 40% of the students have passed, and we know that percentage is up to 100, so which means 60% of the students have failed the examination. If you just do that percentage, that will be 60 over 100 times 250. You will have 150 students. So you see, any of the method will work out. If you want, you can use this method to have 150 students, but you already know that if 40 students have passed, which means 60 students have failed. So if you find that percentage, you will still come to the same answer. So which means actually, since we are dealing with failures, it means the universal set will be 150 students, not 250. Okay, so this is a trick. So what are we going to do? We're going to say U, the universal, is 150 students, since this problem is all about failures. Okay, we are not dealing with those who have passed the examination. So in a school of 250 students, the results of the examination show that only 40% of the students have passed all the three subjects, English, mathematics, and science. So we are dealing with failures. Failures were assessed in these three subjects, and the results are as follows. 14 students failed only English. So where do we have only English? That is here. So 14 students failed only English. 42 students failed English and science. So English and science, we have 42 students who have failed. English and science, 42 students have failed. So be careful. 42 students failed English and science. It is different from 42 students failed English and science only. If at all the question mentioned English and science only, then we would have been able to write that value here, okay? But that is not the case. You should be able to differentiate the statement 42 students have failed English and science from 42 students have failed English and science only. Okay, the word only there is very important if it is available in the question. The reason for this is, for English and science only, it represents this region that I am marking with the blue color. Okay, this region is for English and science only. It is going to be different from English and science. And when we say English and science, that has to cover this entire region that I am marking with green. Okay, so that is why it is very important to be able to differentiate the two statements. Okay, to repeat myself, if I say 42 students failed English and science, that is the entire region here. It includes those students who have failed English and science only, and it also includes those students who have failed all the three subjects. Because remember that students who have failed all the three subjects have also failed the two subjects, English and science. So we need to make that differentiation very well. Okay, so let's just keep the 42 here. We will remind ourselves about it later. It says 12 students failed English, mathematics, and science. So that is all the three subjects. We are able to know that. That is 12 students failed English, mathematics, and science. So that is students who have failed all the three subjects. We can write that like that. Now, we can go back to this information that we have here. If 42 students are the ones who have failed English and science, so what would have been the number of students who have failed English and science only? Remember, those students who have failed all the three subjects have also failed English and science. So which means we can easily say 42 minus 12 to know the number of students who have failed English and science only. And 42 minus 12 is 30. So we can now write 30. So you can see the trick of this question. All right, such that if you want to know whether your answer is right, add these two again, and you are supposed to have 42, since 42 students failed English and science, which covers this entire region that I am showing you. Okay? All right. Moving on, it says 28 students failed in English and mathematics. 28 students failed in English and mathematics. Did it say only? No, it did not include the word only. So which means that is the total number of students who have failed English and mathematics. 28 students. Okay? 28 students failed English and mathematics. So if 28 students have failed English and mathematics, that is the total number of students who have failed English and mathematics. 12 of them is the number of students who have failed all the three subjects. So how many students have failed English and mathematics only? We have to find that by subtracting 12 from 28. That is going to be 16. So which means we're going to have 16 here. 16 students have failed English and mathematics only, while 16 plus 12 will give you 28, which is the total number of students who have failed English and mathematics. Moving on, it says 24 students failed in science and mathematics only. Be careful here, the word only has been used. So that is 24 students have failed science and mathematics only. Where do we have that? Science and mathematics only is this portion here, and we said is 24 students. Okay, a lot of tricks in this question. 24 students have failed science and mathematics only. Then finally, the number of students who failed only science is twice the number of students who failed only mathematics. Let's analyze that information. It says the number of students who failed only science is twice the number of students who failed only mathematics. So which means if you know the students who failed only mathematics, twice of that will be the number of students who failed only science. So what can we do? We can say, let the number of students who failed only mathematics be X. So if that is the case, the number of students who failed only science will be twice of X, right? That's what the question says. So let's read the question again. It says the number of students who failed only science is twice the number of students who failed only mathematics. So if only mathematics is X, then twice of that will be only science. You get that? Okay, so you have a higher failure in science than in mathematics. So only mathematics, we've said that is X, then only science is 2X. All right. Do you have any other information? No. So that is it. From now on, what can we do? We first have to know the value of X in order to be able to move on with the other calculations. So if you look at this, the sum total of all these values will be equal to 150, okay, as the total number of failures. So let's try to do that mathematics here. We can say X plus 2X plus 24 plus 30 plus 12 plus 16 plus 14 is equal to 150 students as the total number of students who have failed. Okay, X plus 2X plus 24 plus 30 plus 12 plus 16 plus 14. So X plus 2X is 3X plus 24 plus 30 plus 12 plus 16 plus 14 is 96. This is equal to 150. So 3X is equal to 150 minus 96. 3X is equal to 54. To find X, you divide both sides by 3. So this will cancel this. X will be equal to 54 divided by 3 is 18 students. Okay, so where do we have X? That is here. X is 18. So that is the number of students who failed only mathematics is 18. So twice of that is the students who failed only science. 18 times 2 is 36. You get that? Now we can comfortably go and answer all the questions that we have. Question 2, it says, how many students failed mathematics? Okay, so this is different from only mathematics. Number of students who failed mathematics. What is that from the Venn diagram? It is the whole of this circle. Okay, so this is the number of students who fail only mathematics. But as you can see, these students here, 24 students, failed mathematics and science. So actually they have failed mathematics. 12 students failed English, mathematics, and science. So which means they have failed mathematics. 16 students failed English and mathematics only. So it means they have also failed mathematics. So this circle here will be the total number of students who failed mathematics. X plus 16 plus 12 plus 24. X plus 16 plus 12 plus 24 will be the total number of students who failed mathematics. And that is going to be X is 18 plus 16 plus 12 plus 24. And what do we have? 18 plus 16 plus 12 plus 24. We're going to have 70 students. Okay, so 70 students have failed mathematics. Okay, that is question 2A. Now we want to go to question 2B. What is question 2B? The number of students who failed only one subject. So who are the students who failed only one subject? There are those who failed only English, or failed only mathematics or failed only science. So that is 14 plus x plus 2x. Number of students who failed only one subject. That is going to be x plus 2x plus 14, right? X plus 2x plus 14. So that is going to be 18 plus 2 into 18 plus 14. So that is 18 plus 18 times 2 is 36 plus 14. So what do we have? 18 plus 36 plus 14 is 68 students. Okay, so let's go to question 2C. Question 2C is the number of students who failed only science. Okay, so only science is here, 2x. And we got 36 as our answer for that. The number of students who failed only science, we said that is equal to 2x. So that will be 2 times 18, and we got 36 students. Moving on to question 3. It says, if a student is chosen at random from the students who have failed, what is the probability that he or she failed only English and science? So what are the number of students who failed only English and science? Only English and science is here, okay? That is English and science only. So it will be 30 over 150. That will be the probability of students who failed only English and science. Question 3. The probability of a student who failed only English and science, that will be 30 over 150, and 30 over 150, if you simplify that, you will have 1 over 5. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. You can also share your thoughts on this video by commenting on the comment section. See you soon.